Hello everyone, my name is Lanso90 and welcome to a video I wanted to make really quick about my theories from before on Five Nights at Freddy's 3, what it would be like based on the trailer, and what I got right and wrong with that, and also a new theory that I just thought of, and this one I'm pretty sure is right though, completely. But I haven't seen anyone else come up with it, so I'm gonna see how many other people think I might be right on this. But first, let's go over about what I thought before, and what things I was right on, what things I was wrong on. So, the main thing that I was trying to claim was I was thinking that we'd be playing as a murderer in this one. It seemed like it would be way too obvious for Scott to make a murderer be in the Springtrap suit. To me, that seemed like something that was too obvious, considering how much he really tried to misdirect us with 2. If you remember the trailer for 3 and everything, it's like we have a place for him, he always comes back and stuff, and it was showing the Springtrap suit. It's like, oh, he's probably in there, is what most people are thinking. And I was like, well, Scott likes to misdirect us. But I was wrong. He's definitely in the suit. That was what killed him. But, so yeah, I got that wrong. But one thing that I did get right is, this means that the phone guy can't be the killer, because phone guy in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is explaining about how dangerous the spring-loaded suits are. It says that you should never wear them anymore. Don't wear them. And that means he'd have the sense not to get in one of these suits, or he'd at least be smart enough to wind it up and everything first. So he would not have been killed by it, which means he probably did die in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, as was implied. Let me see what else we got here. Oh, the fan. You remember? Let's see if I think I have the Steam Greenlight page brought up here. The fan. He just had it on the wrong layer when he first released the screenshot. So a couple days later, he updated the screenshot and it was on the table instead of behind the window. But that did make me technically right on there's definitely a second layer there, which stuff would be hiding behind. It seems like it'd be obvious that that would be the case, but yeah, that was definitely the case with Five Nights at Freddy's 3. I was right about the ventilation, more or less. It'd be a little bit complicated to explain like all of it that I said before. I said that it could possibly be used to like that fake Five Nights at Freddy's 3 game where you had that Freddy head that was like toxic and you'd have to turn it on and off. Or it could be like a way to combat him, which wasn't exactly right, because what it does is it just makes it so you don't get jump scared by the phantom animatronics. But yeah, that one wasn't too incorrect, really. I don't even think I made any guess about what audio would do. I think audio, I just thought that would mean you'd be able to hear what was going on in a room. I didn't think it would be what it ended up being, which was Balloon Boy's annoying ass voice to attract them to a different room. So, yeah, it pretty much covers the theories that I came up with before. So now my big theory that I just thought of is, so I think there is a building before Freddy Fazbear's family diner. Let's go to night 5 of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Yeah, Fredbear's family diner. So a lot of people were saying that this was probably the first establishment where it was just Freddy because of the minigame here. This minigame. I wish I had a GIF form of it, but I couldn't find any GIFs of it, just a screenshot. But everyone thought that this was Freddy Fazbear's diner because it was just one room. It's not big. There's just Freddy. And he's walking around. You have to bring the cupcakes to the children. So they're thinking that this was the first establishment, and this kid that gets killed out here by the purple guy by giving him like a poison cupcake becomes the marionette. Which that could be right, and this could be Freddy Fazbear's Diner, and it probably is. But I think there's one more building before this one, and this is all established by Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Because in 3, we get this minigame. Again, I wish it was in GIF form. But, as we can see, we have Golden Freddy and Springtrap here. And a lot of people are saying that this is also probably the diner, but that doesn't seem correct, because this Freddy looks, it almost looks orange to me, really, but I guess it's closer to brown than this is. This is quite clearly quite more yellow than this one is, for one thing. Top hat is a different color. This one seems like he could be wearing a tie, or this one's wearing a bow tie. But, yeah, so I think there was one more building before the diner, and it's this one. And for one thing, this is outside. I don't know what that might mean, because these are clouds, I assume. I don't know how important that would be, but I think this was before the diner. And this also still, this isn't the one that's after the diner. I think after the diner is the one that we get the first models of Foxy and Chica and Bonnie. So this is before everything. And one of my main reasonings behind this, other than what seems obvious, is with this one being quite a bit different looking than this one, is in this minigame, Springtrap just kind of bobs up and down. And Freddy, even though you're able to move around as him, he just slides around, and he can glitch through the walls and stuff. He doesn't actually have a walk animation. And all the other minigames, your characters have walk animations. And this made me think of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Night 1, where he talks about they spent a small fortune on these new animatronics, facial recognition, mainly... Sorry, I had to do a quick cut in the video there. I got interrupted. So, where was I? I was talking about, I was reading this. They spent a small fortune on these new animatronics. Facial recognition, advanced mobility, and they even let them walk around during the day. Isn't that neat? So, part of this was he was trying to misdirect us, like, he was making it sound like this is in the future. And they walk around during the day because they used to not be able to in the last game. But then it flips on its head, and basically what he's saying is that in the establishment between the diner and this one, they couldn't walk around during the day, and they didn't have the greatest mobility. And when I first read this, I actually thought that, or when I first heard this, I actually thought he was saying that they couldn't walk at all before. But now I've realized that it's probably just better mobility. But what this kind of leads me to think is that way back in this building before the diner, they were completely immobile. They're actual animatronics that can't move. Which seems to make a lot of sense to me, based on what he says here and things like that. That's about all there is to this theory. I don't know how much it really changes anything. I think it does push the timeline back quite a bit. Like, I think I've heard people say that they're thinking the diner is in like the 70s. I'm not sure about that myself. Honestly, I'd probably say it was like the 50s, because that's when diners were really popular. But you know, they still existed after the 50s, but I don't know, that could be anything. But this one, if it was even older than that, obviously the tech would be older. But one more small detail. The music box marionette, his music box song is My Grandfather's Clock. Let's actually just look this up really quick. My Grandfather's Clock lyrics. See, I've looked this up before because it seems important. A lot of the song, I don't think, has too much to do with why Scott picked the song for the Five Nights at Freddy's. The main line, the main verse I think that is really important is this one here. My grandfather said that of those he could hire, not a servant more faithful he found. For it wasted no time and had but one desire at the close of each week to be wound. And it kept in its place, not a frown upon his pace, and its hands never hung by its side. But it stopped short, never to go again when the old man died. So you can see where this could really be talking about the marionette, because he wastes no time. As soon as the clock runs out, he comes after you. He has one desire, to kill you. At the close of each week to be wound. Obviously, you have to wind the music box. And you spend 1 week at Freddy's if you count the Night 6 and Custom Night. It kept in its place. It's always in the same room until it's after you. Not a frown upon his face. Obviously, the marionette's always smiling. And his hands never hung by his side. His hands are always kind of... let's see if we can look them up real quick. That's the image we want. Hands are sort of by his side, but he has them outstretched, so they're not hanging limp. So that's why I think that's part of it. And this was just a repeated verse throughout the song. Then I think the next big thing that kind of helps the idea of this being a really long time ago. 90 years without slumbering. So this makes me think that whenever the marionette first came to be, or whenever he was first manufactured, whether that's his build date or the date he was possessed by, I would think it'd be 90 years before Five Nights at Freddy's 3. We can obviously take 30 years off because 30 years it's 30 years after Five Nights at Freddy's 1, and then you take 10 more years, about 10 more years for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 to get to 1987. But then you still have 50 more years to make up there, so if this pushes things back 50 more years, then it'd fit this song, and maybe that's what he was intending, but, you know, Scott's a deceitful man. It's really hard to figure out what he's thinking, so I could be wrong, I could be right. I have a really good feeling, though, that this is a different diner than this one, if it's even a diner. They seem to be on a stage outside to me. I don't know what situation would call for that, but there we go. That's my idea, and I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and have a good day.